This way they know that it's a balloon payment. Double click, it's right, it's starting balance, okay? It just changes the information. It does nothing to the calculations. Calculations will work exactly the same if I call that cell my Aunt Sally, okay? Doesn't matter. It's just a tag. But tags are important to communicate what things are. All right. Now I'm gonna do some formatting. I don't have to, but I'm anal about these things. Interest rate is a percentage. Hit the percent. I want 3 digits on it. Hit the left arrow 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So if I enter the numbers, once a cell is formatted as percent, you don't have to write the decimal version. 2.5% is 0.025, right? Well, you don't have to remember what that is. All you do is 2.5%, or suppose the number is 0.02%. It may not be that obvious what the decimal is. It's 0.00002. I don't have to worry about it. 0.02. Internally, nothing changes. Excel internally converts it to decimal anyway. But this makes entering the input less error prone. Let me put it that way. One thing you need to be careful, if it's a percentage that starts with a 0, normally to type 0.02, I can type 0.02, right? But in the percentage format, if you type 0.02, it's going to think it's 2%. Just type 0.02. The frequency is a regular number. I'm gonna do the comma, but get rid of the decimals. So 12 is monthly. Periodic payment is a currency. So I'm gonna call it dollars. Oops, I don't know why it made it pounds. Oh, I used the other English. Okay. Number of years, be allowed for non-integer number of years. So I'm gonna do just comma format. If you want to add more decimals, you could. And starting balance is also dollars. Again, I'm civilized. Instead of going to the menu and doing those things again, I'm gonna copy the periodic payments, but I'm gonna paste only the formats. Right click, click this formatting button. And I want these to have the same number formats. I don't want to change their underlying color, so I'm going to make them same thing with target value. For now, I'm going to put 1000. In almost all the sheets, worksheets that I create, I have a rough color convention. Anything that has a background of green, you can enter things in there. You have green light to enter. Anything that looks like a red, I did chose not to have red because sometimes it doesn't look too well on the projector. So anything that has a rose color, there's a formula that's already built in there. So don't touch it unless you're pretty sure that you're not gonna screw up things. Okay. Now, on the target value is an input. This is when you know the outcome, but you want to solve for the unknown variable that's going to give you that outcome. You enter that number. The only coding that we need to do on this is enter the formula for the left-hand side. So that left-hand side is going to be given the inputs, either present value or future value of an annuity. Okay. Let me first just do PV. The name of the function is PV. If you don't remember the syntax, you can always hit this FX button on the formula bar. If you haven't recently used it, type the name, find it. It actually tells you in what order you need to enter the arguments and what do they mean. The first argument, the interest rate per period. So that's a period rate. Well, in our case, period rate is the APR divided by frequency. Okay. The second argument is number of periods. That's number of years times the frequency. If it's a 7-year loan, you're making monthly payments. That means you're going to make 84 payments, right? So take the number of years, multiply it with frequency. Third argument, it tells you what it is the payment made each period and cannot change over the life of an investment. You know, an annuity, right? That's our periodic payment. The fourth argument is technically optional. FV is short for final value. In our case, it's going to be balloon payment. If you leave it blank, it's going to be 0. But we want our sheet to be general enough to handle the balloon payments as well. So I'm going to put this one. I know I'm in future value mode right now, but bear with me. The last argument is about the annuity type. If you leave it blank, it's just going to do ordinary annuity, which is exactly what we want. One thing you may notice, it produced a negative number, okay? That's because whoever wrote this function must have been an accountant. They think in terms of debits and credits. If the payment is a debit, the value has to be a credit and vice versa. So we're going to actually put a negative in front of it, okay? Let me make this back into present value, okay? So if the APR is 5%, again, in the setup mode, this will actually tell you present or future value given the inputs. So if I ask you what's the present value of all the payments you're going to make, you'll just enter the inputs. You're going to read off the value for the left-hand side formula. That's it, done. Okay. Nice thing about this one, the function for PV, future value, is exactly the same syntax. Only the meaning of the fourth argument changes. The fourth argument is the starting balance, okay? And the name of the function is FV instead of PV. So I'm going to be civilized. I'm going to copy this one first. I'm going to go back to the beginning. If, okay, this is greater than 0, that means we're dealing with present value, so leave it as it is. Otherwise, I need to calculate the future value. I'm going to paste that formula that I copied. I'm going to change the PV into FV and close the parentheses. I still kept the minus in front because future value has also the same issue. By default, it returns a negative value. You know, you're going to invest for 40 years. I don't think you're going to have negative money at the end of 40 years. It's just a sign convention. I don't like things negative when they don't have to be. So double click, future value. So in the setup mode, just change the inputs. It's going to give you the output or the option. Now we're going to do something different. Let's make payment calculations. Okay. I'm going to arbitrarily turn this into solver mode. As soon as you turn it into solver mode, it actually solves the problem at hand. That may or may not be the problem you want, but it did solve it. And this, let me see what that means. In order to have $1,000 12 years from now, if I'm starting with $10,000 now, I need to withdraw $87.41 every month, which may be a problem that you may be interested in. Remember, a negative payment is a withdrawal from the account. All right, let's solve a problem. Car payment, or as they say it in Boston, car payment. You are financing $25,000 of a car purchase. You want 8-year loan, monthly payments, and you are charged 7.99% APR as interest. What is your monthly payments?